Togo presidential grace, between small delinquents and political opponents. Faure Gnassingbé shows, 364, prisoners pardoned and expanded. Not a single political prisoner, so some are even suffering and at the point of death. This is not fiction, but the sad reality, happening in Togo on the 31st of October, between prisoners of common rights, small delinquents, criminals and his political opponents. Faure Gnassingbé has made his choice and is sending a message. This is the joy for many prisoners and their families since last Monday, the 31st of October, because, a sentence granted to them by the head of state, using his constitutional prerogatives. This presidential grace follows a report from the Guard of Seals, Minister of Justice and Legislation, Pius Agbetomey, and his security and civil protection colleague, General Damehame Yark, and an opinion from the Supreme Council of the Judiciary. This is a sentence of 364 prisoners held in 12 Togo prisons, 6 from Damehame Civil Prison, 17 Mango, 101, at Kanti Prison, 22 at Kara, 13 at Bassar, 28 P. Wanderers of Civil Prison from Sokode, 42 to Atakpame, 38 Tik Palimay, 20 to Knots, 28 to Vogan Prison, 33 to Anahuan, 114 to Lomé Civil Prison. The beneficiaries are reportedly exclusively common law inmates who have reportedly already served a large portion of their sentences. This measure will have the merit of clearing out the prisons in Togo, and especially the one in Lomé, known for its overpopulation and indecent prison conditions. 65% of the detainees, we say, are in preventive detention awaiting their verdict. Sometimes many serve sentences without being judged. Not a single broad political prisoner. There are still about 100 in Togo prisons for political reasons in several cases. The latest are former Minister Jimene Ouar, who was arrested and thrown into prison in April 2021 for his own speeches and political stances, and dynamics activist MGR Podsro Jean-Paul Amalao. Both are repaying commitments to the opposition. In the Faure Gnassingbé case, which has very strong political sentiments, even if we talk about an attempt to undermine the internal security of the state, there are at least 303 detainees in prison, the most famous of which is the former Minister of Defence, teacher and deputy of Faure Gnassingbé. Casimir Dontima is reportedly kept in Sokode Civil Prison, while CDT Abiati is in Atakpame. They are very numerous. The Pan-African National Party, PNP, militants and sympathisers to rot in prison, simply paying the nerve, of their boss Pius Agbetomey, who, through massive public demonstrations in 2017, had collapsed, bring down the power in its place. Some in the so-called Tiger Revolution case, others in other small cases. Activists of this political formation are in any case the largest batch of political prisoners in Togo. God knows former Prime Minister Agbetomey Kojo would have been among the political prisoners had he not tied his legs at his neck. Faure Gnassingbé had no regard for these political prisoners in his presidential pardon decision, preference for small delinquents. Amongst the political prisoners, many are suffering in prison and even guarded by death. In particular, we think of the Irish Togolian Abdelaziz Goma, who was arrested on the 21st of December, 2018. He's lost the use of his legs and his health is going to be alarming. He often falls victim to seizures that require his hospitalization. The analysis and counter-analysis performed reveal the danger that awaits him. He has repeatedly asked for a presidential pardon for a health evacuation in order to be treated. Irish officials have also relayed the alarm call, but Faure Gnassingbé doesn't move these calls. Leila Nambia weds Tagba. Here's another case on the ground. Mother of family and breastfeeding a 7-month-old baby, she was arrested on the 18th of December, 2019 and thrown into jail on charges of sleeping standing, in prison, suffering from hypertension, breathing difficulties and various other ailments. His situation is alarming. Calls for his release have increased. In vain. There are many political prisoners who are in bad shape due to torture and other inhuman and degrading treatment suffered and needing release to heal. Evidence of their condition. Some released return the soul just days after their expansion. Faure Gnassingbé has already served more than half of his sentence and should deserve a remuneration of the rest. He was sentenced to 20 years of criminal incarceration at the trial in September 2011, with civil decay and forfeiture of his property. He has already spent 13 years in prison and 7 remain to serve. The requests for mercy have flown in. Goodwill-led mediation to convince Faure Gnassingbé to release his blood brother, MGR Nikidambariga, MGR Fanoko Podsro, Pia Canton Chief, Presidents Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana and Ali Bongo of Gabon. I just don't. Even the worsening of his health didn't convince his half-brother to release him. The pardons of these inmates, most of whom are suffering and on the lookout for death, have remained dead letters. Facing the plight of these compatriots, a group has been set up, the Committee for the Release of All Political Prisoners in Togo, to demand their release. Unsuccessful with Faure Gnassingbé, he remained unresponsive to the multiple cries of distress. He prefers to release small delinquents, thieves of mobile phones, chickens and others, even if so often, many of these released prisoners relapse and go back to prison, as if to tell their opponents and everyone who would get in his way that he will be merciless. The Togo alternative.